I work with people who are in learning and development and who develop others. And I want to share an analogy to describe the types of people that I work with, because I think it's not a homogeneous group. There's a lot of diversity in there. So the first group of people are your typical kind of learning and development professionals, and it's probably what we most often think of. And I'm going to call those people the chefs. And as chefs, they work in a restaurant and they prepare meals or food for people, patrons who come then and enjoy their meals. Because they work in a restaurant, they don't need to go out and look for the people to find their food. The patrons come to them. If the restaurant's big enough, or if this is you, if your organization is big enough, you might have a couple of other people who support you, or you might be doing it all on your own. But the people who support you could be a sous chef. So if you're a director or a VP of learning, maybe you have a sous chef, a manager who kind of implements your vision. You might also have short order cooks. So those are the people who prepare all the food and respond really quickly and get it out the door. And you might have servers, the trainers, the facilitators who actually then deliver and serve and provide the food to the people who come to enjoy. So this group of people, if this is you, I think you probably share some common challenges. There will be nuances there, but certainly I think there are some common challenges that I've experienced when I work with chefs. The first one is time. And oftentimes your whole team is asked to be short order cooks. So your whole team is asked to react really quickly and get training programs out the door. So that's one challenge. Another one is we're in a digital world, and with that comes constant change, and we're living and working remotely. And so the old ways of doing things are maybe not applying very well anymore. So you need your teams to be innovative and engaging with the meals that they provide. And sometimes I talk to chefs and their teams don't have those core instructional design skills that they need. So it means that as the chef, as the manager, you're having to step in and either do some instructional design work for them, or it makes you hesitant even to delegate in the first place. So, so making sure that your team has the skills they need so that they can create engaging and innovative programs in this digital world is a challenge that I come across often when talking with chefs. It's also important right now because retention is such a big issue. And so you want to have those innovative and engaging programs so that your employees will stay with you, so that when you hire somebody new, that they'll have an onboarding experience that reinforces their decision for joining your organization. And my passion is performance. So I would suggest that it isn't enough for somebody to come and have a program, consume a meal, that they need to actually be able to do something with it. So it needs to be nutrient dense and have some concrete objectives and ultimately lead to a change in behavior or performance. So when I work with chefs, we like to nerd out a little bit, and we like to do things like a needs analysis or evaluation on the back end. We like to design whole curriculum, so not individual courses, but what does that learning journey look like? And even working together to create a learning strategy. So those are the types of things I do with chefs. But chefs aren't the only ones who develop employees. There's a whole group of home cooks, I'm going to call them, and they also prepare meals, but it's not the core of what they do. They're doing that on top of all the other things that they do in their role. So things like laundry and cleaning and walking the dog and that type of thing. And they don't want to become chefs necessarily. So they will have a whole role that they're responsible for. And every once in a while, their organization comes to them, their family comes to them and says, we need a training course. So their challenges are also time, because when they're asked to prepare a meal, because they don't do it as their main role, it takes them longer and they're maybe less comfortable with it. So again, it's those core instructional design skills. They also, I find, struggle with also how to be innovative and create engaging, because they know that the world that we live in has changed, and how can I make sure that my meals are going to meet the needs of the people that I'm working with. So when I work with those folks, I recognize that they don't want to become chefs. So they need kind of those core design skills so that when they open that fridge, so to speak, and they need to put a meal on the table, they're not standing there thinking, oh my goodness, how do I get a meal out the door? And how can I do that quickly? So it helps them plan with their design process. It helps them facilitate so that they're more engaging when they do get in front of their employees.